Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Murdoch DeFi YouTube channel. And in today's video, we're going to go over a bunch of updates regarding PGV or Prosperity Gem Ventures. So I've had not a couple people on Twitter and then a few people in my Discord server wanting some more information on what's going on with PGV because there's rapidly approaching a bunch of different changes that if you are a user within the PGV platform, I think it's probably beneficial that you know this information. So I've kind of collected all the data, collected all the info, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And if you know Manny, he puts his videos out in their Discord, which are typically like 20 minutes a piece. They're very lengthy. So what I've tried to do is just, like I said, collect that data, collect the pertinent points, and be able to share that with you today. But before we go ahead and jump into today's video, do make sure that you hit that like button if you want to see more update content like what we're doing today. We have a bunch of stuff coming in the future. I've been talking to some people over at RugDoc about having them come on the channel and explain what their KYC process and how that differentiates themselves from other people. So that's the goal, right? I'm just trying to get as much information, even outside of projects, right, that we can talk about, learn from here on the channel. That way, hopefully, it can better affect DeFi as a whole, and then also us as investors just learning more about DeFi and being able to make better decisions moving forward. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it, right? So, I think one thing that I've preached here on the channel for some time now, especially when I was doing like my weekly update videos, and that is always making sure that I'm not compounding in any of these types of projects. And really, like, PGV is like the last man standing at this point in terms of like these bot projects. And I think it's kind of interesting because when we look at what Stable Fund did and the type of project they created, they almost created like a breeding ground for developers to be or to understand that they can put together a contract and not have to worry about getting it audited. Really, like, sure, they could get it audited, but because the contract in and of itself allows the developers to pull funds from the contract, it's like it just kind of created this perfect storm where, you know, here we are now. Yesterday we had two more projects go down, Yield Robot, Rely Fund. There's a bunch of information coming out about Rely Fund. However, nothing is confirmed yet. I still see plenty of capital in the contract balance. However, I did see or notice that there was a withdrawal for like 150 grand earlier this morning, and some other interactions with the contract that only I believe that the person that launched the contract would have access to. But it is no question about it. Brandon actually knows what's going on. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I've been sent a ton of information. Since what I do here on YouTube is pretty public, I'm not going to release any of that information until it's confirmed, because there is word going around that it is the same Brandon from a different project. But if you're in these Discord or Telegram groups, I'm sure you already know what's up. That being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So, still preaching the same thing. I have never compounded money once into PGV. I put that 10 grand in months ago at this point, and now I'm still reaping the benefits, right? So you can see here my initial deposit and my rewards, $15,451. This is how much I've been able to pull out, and I can still be able to get a full deposit refund on that $10,000. And I just claimed just a few days ago, maybe even yesterday. So my next claim date is on the 24th. But let's go ahead and jump into some updates, right? So the first thing is that they're moving everything over to a new contract that is only going to be USDC. And the main reason why he said he wanted to do this, well, there's two main reasons, right? The first one is that this new contract within it is kind of an in-baked function where they can allow, like, if I wanted to go ahead and request a refund, I would be able to do that by just interacting with the smart contract on the back end. So they wouldn't be bogged down necessarily with having to process a bunch of refunds, right? Because as of right now, to our knowledge, this is all done manually. So that is one thing. He definitely stressed the point that he spends the majority of his time day to day, like manually doing a lot of these refunds. So that's what he's trying to move away from. I guess I could totally understand that. He did mention that it's going to allow him to focus on other aspects of the project, and I imagine that's going to be how he chooses or when he'll have the time to be able to roll out the bots that you can use yourself, or however that's going to be working in the future. So like I said, you'll be able to interact directly with the contract to claim your refund if you choose to do so. However, with this new contract, your initial deposit will be locked, or so your initial capital will be locked for 21 days before you can go ahead and interact with the contract and request a refund. Also, with this new contract, referrals are removed, which is totally cool with. And then the second biggest reason for switching over to this USDC contract is that he was saying that the trading is being done on a decentralized or DEX now. So that's another reason for switch. They need to use USDC with that DEX to be able to run their trading bots. And also, in relation to how they run things now through centralized exchanges, there are certain limitations on how much you can withdraw. There's withdrawal limits, all that stuff. So he's saying that that's a hindrance to them being able to do things the way that they want to do them. Now, I'm kind of interested in how this changes things, right? Because on a centralized exchange, to my knowledge, they've been using leverage trading. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe some of the things that I've seen from like the screenshots that he posts from Bybit, I believe those are all long or short positions. So, and that would make sense because he always says that his bots never close a position in the negative. And that's probably because he's opening leverage positions and he's using dollar cost averages or kind of like this martingale strategy, which totally makes sense. However, if they're moving over to a DEX, then how is that impacted if they can't leverage trade? I don't know if there's, to my knowledge, there's not really a DEX out there that will allow you to trade futures contracts. So, I mean, maybe I'm just some stupid YouTuber and I don't know what I'm talking about. But if that's the case, then that seems pretty cool, and it sounds like that's the way that they're going to be going about things moving forward. So cool. So now everything's being done on a decentralized exchange, not a centralized. So over the next 30 days, he said that they will be closing out all the other contracts. So what you're seeing here, so the Polygon Binance Smart Chain using USDT on BSC and Tron. So all three of these contracts over the next 30 days will be closing. So he did also mention that you're going to be seeing the contract balance going down because they have a plan to refund like one big whale wallet per day. So just kind of keep that in mind and do with that information what you will. Obviously, when you're working with a ton of people and you start to see contract balances diminish, then people get scared about that stuff. So I'll definitely be paying close attention to what that looks like myself. But the most important thing about this video is, so by February 10th, everyone should have had put in a refund request, right? So everybody that has been using PGV, whether you're on Polygon, BSC, using USDT, or Tron, then you need to put in a full deposit refund by the 10th of February. Now, how I'm going to go about this is, and here's the thing too, is you got to understand that when you go to process a full deposit refund, you're not getting any of this. So if you have any money in your claimable, then you're not being able to get that. So what I intend on doing is, come the 24th, I'm going to go ahead and claim, and then I'll go ahead and apply for that full deposit refund. He is saying that their refund processing time is still around 3 to 5 days. However, earlier in the day, yesterday, he mentioned that they're about a day behind. But if you guys want more information about this, if you guys want to go watch his videos, again, I'm just kind of recapping all the stuff that he says in kind of a condensed version for you guys. But there's about, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes of video content in the PGV Discord for you guys to go ahead and consume. But I do think it's important. That's why I wanted to get this message out there, because by February 10th, everybody has to have put in a full deposit refund. And then I'm assuming you'll be able to then take those funds if you choose to do so, and then be able to get into the USDC contract, which again will remain on BSC, but you're just going to be using C rather than USDT. I believe that was all the updates that he had mentioned. That being said, I know that he did close down like the general chat or mute everybody, so that way he could try to funnel people into watching the videos that he posts in the announcements channel. I know some people don't like that. However, I do understand that if somebody comes to a general chat in a Discord and they realize it's closed down, the first thing that they're going to do is check the announcements and then be able to see those updates too. And with something as important like this, I think it's, I understand it. It wouldn't necessarily be my preferred method, but like I said, I understand it. Furthermore, when we talk about all these bot projects that have gone under over the last week, it really makes you wonder if those guys were full of shit, who else is, right? And I'm not to say that PGV is, but I would definitely love to see more information regarding trades, and because to my knowledge, like even if I go check it out right now, trading bot results. So I believe the last things were posted on the 13th. Today is the 18th, 5 days ago. And I wish that there was a little bit more information on how much profit is actually generated over, let's just say, over the course of the week, because I think that's important to be able to understand, right? Like, is the profit that they're making based on the bot trading enough to cover the up to 2% per day that they're currently paying out? I don't know. I don't think that we've been given enough information to be able to say yes, that is true. So I would probably default and say that that's not the case right now, just because that information hasn't been shared to us. Like, sure, we have a bunch of screenshots. I'm just looking at it right now. We have a bunch of screenshots of trades. Okay, and to confirm what I was saying earlier, they are using leverage. So they're using 10x leverage on like BTC, Algorand, Ethereum, a bunch of other a bunch of other tokens as well. But their gains are pretty crazy. So I mean, some of these positions are like plus 67% on Algorand at 10x leverage, depending on how much money they put into that trade. Who knows, right? But I think I would love to be able to see more detailed information as far as what the actual, like, more details regarding each and every trade, or just at least a summary week to week. And hopefully that once he doesn't have to deal with refunds and such, he'll be much more transparent, but one can only hope, right? That being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cap the video here. It's about 14 minutes long. Hopefully you guys got value and information out of this video. Let me know what you guys think about this style of content down below in the comment section of today's video. And while you're on your way out, don't forget to smash that like button, and we'll catch you on the next one.